Hold on to your hats, folks, because Donald Trump is at it again. In a move that sent shockwaves across the globe, the former president has demanded the return of the Panama Canal to U.S. control. That's right, you heard me correctly. He wants the U.S. to reclaim the vital waterway it handed back to Panama over 2 decades ago. Trump claims Panama is charging excessive fees and mismanaging this crucial trade route. But let's be honest, this feels less like responsible governance and more like a bull in a china shop diplomacy. This isn't just some off-the-cuff remark, though. Trump insists the U.S. was extraordinarily generous to Panama, and implies that this generosity came with strings attached. Strings that, in his view, Panama has now severed. Now, whether you agree with Trump or think he's more unhinged than a squirrel on espresso, one thing's for sure, this is a big deal. It's not every day a former world leader suggests essentially seizing territory from another nation. Buckle up, because this is about to get messy. To understand the sheer audacity of Trump's demand, we need to rewind the clock a bit. The U.S. has a long and frankly messy history with the Panama Canal. We're talking over a century of involvement, folks. Back in the early 1900s, the U.S., under President Theodore Roosevelt, backed a Panamanian revolution against Colombia. Why? To secure the rights to build and control the canal, of course. The construction itself was a monumental feat of engineering, but it came at a cost. Thousands of workers, many from the Caribbean, died during the project due to disease and accidents. The U.S. then controlled the Canal Zone, a strip of land around the canal, for decades. This period was marked by tension and resentment from Panamanians who viewed it, rightfully so, as an infringement on their sovereignty. Fast forward to 1999, and the U.S. finally transferred control of the canal to Panama. This was a landmark moment, signifying a new era of U.S.-Panama relations, or so we thought. Now, Trump argues that Panama is jeopardizing the canal's future with its alleged mismanagement and exorbitant fees. He seems to be suggesting that the U.S., with its history of, shall we say, hands-on involvement, would be a more responsible steward. Let's be clear, though, there's no concrete evidence to support Trump's claims. Panama has consistently maintained the canal's efficiency and has invested heavily in its modernization. So, what's really driving Trump's demand? Some speculate it's a ploy to appeal to his base, a way to flex American muscle on the world stage, or perhaps distract from domestic issues. Whatever the reason, one thing's clear, it's a dangerous game he's playing. Unsurprisingly, Trump's comments have been met with international condemnation. Leaders from across the globe have denounced his remarks as reckless and a violation of international law. Even some within the U.S., including members of his own party, have distanced themselves from his stance. The implications of a nation, let alone a former superpower, simply reclaiming territory, are staggering. As for Panama, they've yet to issue an official response. But one can imagine the anger and frustration simmering beneath the surface. This isn't just about a canal, it's about sovereignty, respect, and a history marred by intervention. Whether Trump's inflammatory rhetoric leads to concrete action remains to be seen. One thing's for certain, the world is watching and the stakes couldn't be higher.